I wrote a song about it. Like the hit go.
Come on now.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Wrote a Song About It. Like to hear it go. All right, as I continue on my journey of personal embarrassment, I'm gonna roll into one of the handful of cover songs that I have done over the years. I can hold a tune, but I would say that I'm probably a mediocre to average singer at best. I'm not gonna hold you. Nobody's calling me to appear on their album. Like nobody's being like, "Hey, I got this joint. You want to get on it?" Nobody's calling me, and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I make what I like, and you know what I'm saying. I don't hold that over anybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not walking around with a chip on my shoulder because I'm like, man, I'm a better singer than that. I'm not at all. But what I did choose to do this time is cover one of my favorite songs off of one of my favorite albums. It takes a lot for a song to hit me to where I'm like, dang, I want to do that. Like, I want to make that song. I want to remake that song. I want to copy it, cover it. Well, copy it too, I guess. So, the song that you are going to hear today is a cover of Human Beings by Seal off his Human Beings album. Now, that album kind of holds a special place for me, and it's a weird kind of thing. So I got that album, and I can't remember if it was before I left or while I was traveling. I don't remember. But I got that album as I was making the decision to move from Michigan to Portland. And again, I don't remember if I bought it right before or right. I do remember that I'd heard the song Human Being and I fell in love with it. And so I remember seeing the video on this little 13-inch TV I had in my little apartment in Ypsilanti, and like just falling in love with the song. Went out and bought the album and really fell in love with the album. And it really marked a time in my life when I was kind of feeling the need to get away from everything I knew in the Midwest and was like, I need something new. But it also marked kind of the start of a very, I don't mean this to sound like melancholy or sad, but for lack of a better way to describe it, it started a very lonely period in my life where like I really, for all intents and purposes, really felt like alone. And I'm the kind of person that's kind of okay with that. There's aspects of it that it's like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, I am kind of an introvert. I can exist in my own company and be comfortable. Like, it's not like I am one of those folks that like craves interaction with people all the time and it really eats at me. Like, that's not really what happened. But as far as what was going on in my life, without getting into like personal items and mentioning people's names and things like that, I was just at a point where like I felt like I was losing my friends. I had a really significant breakup, I think a little before this. Yeah, I had a pretty significant breakup. Didn't really feel like anything was working for me. And it's like, damn, the relationship that I really wanted ended. My friends don't really feel like they friends right now. And look, I've mentioned my friends on this show before. So this is not to point fingers at anyone or name names or assign anything to anyone, because that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just saying from my perspective, I was feeling this way. Like my relationships ended, things weren't going smoothly with my friends. And I just felt like I need to go. Like this place is it's telling me that it's not for me right now. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Whatever the universe is telling me about this place, it can have it. I'm willing to pack up and go experience something new. And so that was around the time that I found out about the school I wanted to transfer to. And so instead of just packing up and enrolling and coming out here, I took what little money I had. I don't even know how I afforded this back then. Man, I don't know what I did. I don't know. It's too long ago. I can't remember. But what I know that I did do is I bought a plane ticket, I got a hotel room, and I rented a car. I did those 3 things. And I brought my ass to Portland for 5 days. I went to see the college, talked to the the admissions person or whoever it was, get a tour of the school for like a day. I think maybe it was in there 1 day, maybe 2, but the rest of the time I was just in Portland. And so what I did was I just took my little rental car and I just started looking up where stuff was, like where's the mall? Can I go to a basketball? There's an NBA team in Portland, so can I go to a Blazer game? I just look for a bunch of stuff. And I think I did go to a Blazer game when I was out here. I don't remember now. I know I went to a bunch of restaurants. I know I went and just kind of hung out at the mall. I found like a night spot to go to, like all in like 5 days. Man, I don't know how, man, with the internet, this was 1999. I don't know how I did all of that in 99 because the internet is not what it is. You know what I mean? Like it existed, but it's not what it is now. So I spent 5 days just tooling around the city, getting to know everything, getting comfortable, and just trying to decide if I would like living out here. And this album and one of Stevie Wonder's albums that I had bought that like I never owned, like, because you know, like with Stevie Wonder music, you have music from Stevie Wonder, but you may not own that album, but you know all the songs. You just maybe never bought that album. So I bought an old Stevie Wonder album, bought this album, and those 2 albums were the soundtrack to me coming out to Portland and kind of evaluating whether or not I was going to pick up my life and come out here. So there's a very strong connection between me feeling very alone and me moving across the country and listening to this album. And so to that point, I've always loved that album. I've always loved that song. It's just very beautifully crafted, and I love its energy. So I decided to cover it. Now, the difference is, as we've discussed before, I do a lot of, hip hop tinged stuff that leans towards electronic and down tempo and stuff like that. So for me, I heard it in a much more melancholy way, like a much sadder, depressed sound. Like I heard it that way. It doesn't sound that way because it's got a little bit faster tempo than what I did. But what I did in this cover is I took the tempo down a little bit and I did it in the style that I'm accustomed to doing, which is more of the kind of, I don't want to say trip hop because this really doesn't fall into that, but I really took it to that kind of like slower mentality kind of electronic route. So, and then I toyed around with some vocal harmonies and things like that. So I tried to add my touches on it, but there's no universe in which I'm doing anything remotely close to what Seal is going to do on this song. So again, I don't try to oversell myself. I just try to let you know like where I was and like what happened and like what brought the song into being. And so it was many, many years after my move here that I decided to cover this, because I just did this like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't look up to date. I don't have it fresh in my brain, but this was a very recent cover in the sense that like it doesn't align with the timeline of me moving out here. It's just that song has been important to me and special to me for that long. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to shut the hell up and let you listen to my average cover of Human Being by Seal.
punching tickets by the minute if you fall out of line. Tell me, is it death you feel that will bring you peace of life? When you lose your self-esteem, that's when love dies. Please, human being, if you bleed, they will say that it's destined. They'll be punching tickets by the minute if you fall out of line. We're mere human beings, we die. Well, I feel when you reach number one, you look like you're puffing, but really only blocking the sun. Blocking the sun. Blocking the We're mere human beings, we die. It's destined. They'll be punching tickets by the minute you fall out of line. We're mere human beings, we die. Mere human beings, we die.
And there you are. All right. Well, I'm not going to stick around that long to see what you think about it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, tip my hat, and slink out the door. So I appreciate y'all taking some time out to listen. I hope you enjoyed at least a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? But as always, thank you for taking time out your day to come by and listen to another episode of Wrote a Song About It. Like the hit, here go. All right, you guys, take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.